Gusto into Cole Palmer. It's been kept in cold storage, Palmer, for the cup competition so far this season, but in the 11 tonight, Enzo Maresca just down below us has selected. 3 minutes gone, 0-0. There's Jan-Paul van Hecke winning the ball on the edge of the centre circle, but inside his own half for Brighton. You're listening to Talk Sport, and we'd also like to welcome our listeners across North America on Sirius XMFC this evening. At the end of what's been a frenetic day of FA Cup football, we started with Manchester City having to come from behind to beat Leyton Orient this morning. You've just heard Newcastle didn't have it anywhere near their own way as they saw off Troy's beloved Birmingham in a real humdinger at St Andrews. Haven't really had a cup upset as yet, still chance for that. Plymouth-Liverpool live on Talk Sport tomorrow. We're going to be at Doncaster against Crystal Palace on Monday night, and then Tuesday night the fourth round action rounded off with a trip to Devon as Exeter are in action against Nottingham Forest, the team that put 7 past Brighton a week ago. Here's the blonde-haired Van Hecke. Not much tempo, Troy, about Brighton's play in the early exchanges. Certainly Chelsea have moved the ball more quickly.
Very, very nervous. You can see that 7-0 effect has had on them from a confidence of passing the ball, very safe passes, and when they're in trouble, Brighton normally go back to the goalie and play. They're just clipping it into the channel, trying to get Welbs running in the channel. So interestingly,
good ball by Tosin, freeing Neto, and it's 3 against 2 in Chelsea's favour. Neto slides the pass into Sancho. It was just behind the Manchester United loanee, but he still found Palmer, who shoots from the edge of the penalty area, and it needed tipping behind for a corner by Bart Verbruggen. That all came from one slide rule pass down the right hand side. Lamptey got too tight to Neto. In the end, Sancho knew he couldn't go for goal himself, teed up Palmer. It's a decent save, 0-0.
Awful defending from Lamptey. Tries to intercept a pass that's got so much pace and power on it. Neto just rolls him, lets it run down the side. It's actually a really bad ball from Neto, because it's a perfect 3v2, and Cuckoo runs in behind, drags both the defenders, allows him to just roll the ball into the path of Sancho, and Sancho can shoot. Instead he wraps it at him, behind him. Really good touch from Sancho, and allows for Cole Palmer to get that shot off.
Short corner, Palmer into Caicedo. The players switch back out to the right hand side. Pedro Neto arrows a pass back to Palmer, and it's been fumbled in by Verbruggen. It's an absolute calamity from the Brighton goalkeeper. Cole Palmer celebrates, but it's Bart Verbruggen with the own goal. They took a short corner on this left-hand side. Neto recycled it back out to Palmer. It was more of a cross than a shot, and Verbruggen has carried the ball over his own goal line. Brighton 0, Chelsea 1.
What a stinker. What an absolute stinker he's had there, the fella. From Chelsea, it's actually a failed corner kick they played along the way across, goes to Sancho on the opposite side, and he just plays a diag into Cole Palmer, who could he's trying to just wrap it across the box on the volley. He actually shanks it into the ground, it's bounced into the keeper, and he falls backwards towards his goal, hits his shoulder and goes in. It's awful goalkeeping. And the best part about it, as we're watching the replays, is seeing all the Brighton players, all the confidence has just gone. They must be feeling 7-0's coming again, Crookie.
Well, he scored 4 goals in one half when these two met at Stamford Bridge in the Premier League, Cole Palmer. He'll do well to claim that. It is an absolute nightmare moment
target, mate.
For Bart Verbruggen. That is an own goal every day of the week and twice on Sundays. I just don't know what he's seeing there, the Brighton goalkeeper. Just catch the ball, and the danger is gone. There was no danger. Incredible start of the AMEX. Chelsea a goal up, and Brighton, having been hit for 7 last weekend, had that sinking feeling again. Minte wants a free kick on the edge of the area. There was a coming together with Chalobah. Referee Jared Gillett says get on with it, and the ball is safely back in the arms of Sanchez. 7 minutes gone. Brighton 0, Chelsea 1.
Clever play from Chalobah. He just steps across Minter, but also kicks it back as well. So the second it goes off his foot, he's always going to try and get a foul. But I'm really worried about this Brighton press.
They won the ball high up the field here, though, with Lamptey. Finds Welbeck on the left corner of the 18-yard box. Back out to Tariq Lamptey. And Lamptey looking to get a cross in. It was a decent enough delivery, but unlike Verbruggen at the other end, safe hands from Sanchez, and what looks like a promising Brighton attack peters out, and here come Chelsea, who look dangerous every time that they commit bodies forward. Sancho linking up with Cucurella on this left-hand side. Brighton 0, Chelsea 1 on TalkSport. And already some reorganising needing to be done by Fabian Hertzler, the youngest manager in the Premier League, 32 later this month. Well, I think he might have aged a few more years after what happened at Forest and seeing what his goalkeeper did there. One of those moments, Troy, where if you're Bart Verbruggen, you just want the ground to open up and swallow you, don't you?
Absolutely, but then from a coach's point of view as well, you've set your team up. I'm pretty sure the last message was, go out there, make it difficult for Chelsea. Let's get the first 15 minutes under our belt and build into the game, and you can't account for that type of lack of concentration. But as I was saying before, the breakaway from Brighton, they're going really aggressive in the press, and it's allowing for Cole Palmer to just nick off the either side of the centre half, and you're making Lewis Dunk go really, really far in. And if they get it right, as they did for what ended up being the goal, they're just in 1v1. You're trying to catch Neto, Sanchez, or Nkuku. They're all really quick players.
What it has done as well is absolutely killed the atmosphere as far as the home fans are concerned. We've got a massive travelling contingent of Chelsea supporters away to our right. They're basically filling the whole of the end behind Sanchez's goal. More away fans than usual, of course, because it's an FA Cup tie, and all of the noise at the moment is being generated by those from West London. The Brighton fans, who haven't seen their team win here at home in their last 5 matches, are a bit shell-shocked. Here's Minte, plucks the ball neatly from the sky and then passes it into no man's land, and Lewis Dunk has to get there ahead of Sancho, and he finds Ruter trying to get away from Chalobah. Good challenge, Chalobah on the slide, and the last contact was off Ruter. The assistant referee on this near touchline had a good view of that and gives the goal kick. Really smart piece of defending, because he had to time that tackle to perfection inside his own box.
And he's actually played for it to go off the player as well. He's slid past the ball and kicked it back onto Ruter's toe as he's coming on. I think his loan spell's done him wonders. Him going out to Palace, playing week in, week out. Dare I say, learning to defend properly. At Chelsea, you get the luxury of having the ball, a lot of teams sitting off you. He's had to defend properly, and it's showing at the moment.
I think he's been a brilliant professional as well. When you think that in the summer, he was training away from the first team. They gave his squad number, I think I'm right in saying, to João Felix.
Yeah.
Felix is now out on loan, of course, but he's come back and he's wearing a different number, Chalobah, but he's got his head down, he's not complained, and straight away he's into the starting lineup.
Yeah, absolutely. Speaks to his professionalism. Obviously played with his brother as well at Watford for a long time. Know the family, a really good family, so been raised right, knows that this is not a given, this football thing, so enjoy it while you're here and don't let the nonsense distract you. Sometimes you're up, sometimes you're down. It's part of the game.
Troy Deeney, former Watford striker, very much a fully paid up member of the centre forwards union. He was trying to give that goal to Cole Palmer. It has gone down as an own goal for the Brighton goalkeeper.
Is that Matterface that's given that? FA Matterface has given that, hasn't he?
Everybody with eyes who's given that as an own goal.
It's on target.
It was a cross. 11 minutes gone. It's Brighton 0, Chelsea 1. We're laughing. I'm not sure Fabian Hertzler and his bright white trainers is out on the edge of his technical area below me here at the AMEX Stadium. Brighton in possession, but deep inside their own half. Verbruggen just rolls it out to the edge of the penalty area, and Lewis Dunk.
It's safe though, isn't it? Every pass is safe, and we normally see Brighton quite aggressive, not worried to make mistakes in counter press, but at the moment everything's just quite safe.
Here's Lamptey. Cuts inside on the edge of the area. Not a bad ball in, or actually I think Chalobah headed it away from Sanchez, who was coming to collect it. No harm done as yet, but it's put back into the box, and it's been headed in by Jorginho Ruter, and Brighton in double quick time are back on level terms. Ruter with the header, continuing his excellent recent goal-scoring form. It was a terrific cross, whipped back in from this right-hand side, and Ruter just needed to guide it beyond Sanchez into the far corner. Well, we promised you goals, and goals we are delivering on TalkSport. 12 minutes gone, it's Brighton 1, Chelsea 1.
I really don't know where that's come from, Crookie. It's a helpless box. It crosses to the box first off from Lamptey on that left-hand side, cutting on his right foot. Sanchez again comes out for it, doesn't give his teammate a call, so Chalobah has to head it away. It doesn't get a great header on it. As it comes back to Voutman, just puts a lovely ball first time into an area, very much Trent Alexander-Arnold style, just into that corridor of uncertainty, and Ruter's between Chalobah and Tosin. None of them are tight, none of them are doing anything. It's a great header, no chance for the keeper. Sounds like we've got a game on our hands, mate.
Sounds like we've got a cracking FA Cup tie, just as we would have wanted. And Jorginho Ruter, Brighton's record signing, 5 goals now in his last 6 appearances, and well, it's almost a bolt from the blue because Chelsea have been so comfortable to that point. But listen to the noise inside the AMEX now on TalkSport. These Brighton fans who were feeling sorry for themselves, they were feeling down in the dumps, they are right back up for it now. And it all started with Chalobah heading the ball away as Sanchez was coming, as you say, maybe didn't get a shout, and then actually when the ball came back into the box, I think it was Chalobah who allowed Ruter to run off him and head it into the far corner. Brilliant header. You'd have been proud of that one. That's a reckless challenge from Dewsbury Hall that is going to lead to the first yellow card of the evening. Troy Deeney was wincing there as Dewsbury Hall went recklessly lunging in on Matoma, and I don't think he can have too many complaints about the yellow card.
No, just from our angle, it looked like he'd left the ground, but we're just seeing it on the replay. His left foot is still down. It's just a high right leg as he's kind of turned his body over. But Dewsbury Hall, it's a big game for him. Every time he plays for Chelsea now, he has to prove that he's he's up to the standard and up to the level. Probably a little bit too keen there, and unfortunately gets a yellow card, so we'll have to worry. Oh God,
that's a mistake from Van Hecker as the ball was lumped forward by Chelsea, got caught underneath it and almost allowed Nkunku to race away. They've cleared it as far as Cucurella on the halfway line, and back now for the Spanish international, the European champion with his country in the summer, and he plays it back to Sanchez. It stays at 1-1. We've played 15 action-packed minutes.
Do they ever teach centre-halves how to head the ball anymore, or has everyone just got to be a football player?
I mean, to be fair, Van Hecker and Lewis Dunk are 2 of the better centre-backs at heading the ball usually, but he made a mess of that, as has Cucurella, caught out by Minte on this near touchline, and Minte almost getting on the end of the through ball from Ruter, Brighton's goal scorer. Chalobah came across and cleared it. That's a brilliant intervention by Hinshaw on the slide as Pedro Neto was looking to leave him in his dust. Here's Matoma, real open flow to this game. Matoma raiding down the left, cuts infield, he's away from Gusto, he's into the penalty area. Matoma, it bounces off him and out for a goal kick, but for a moment there he was in full flow, Karu Matoma, and the Chelsea defence had no answer.
They want to give him the ball a lot more just based on that, because Gusto just dangled a lazy leg at him, went past him like he wasn't even there. It's really interesting just watching Chelsea. This is the first time I've seen Chelsea in person this season. They move the ball really well, but it never feels like they're going to go forward unless it goes into Cole Palmer. He's the only one that's willing to try something a little bit brave and not worried if he loses the ball, not worried about his stat sheet. Interesting thing just to keep an eye on, mate, as it's developing. Every time he gets the ball, you see the sense of urgency, not only in him but in Brighton. They go, oh God, we've got to go and stop him. For everybody else, as it's currently playing now, they're just playing around with the ball on the halfway line, Chelsea. No Brighton players going near anybody.
Here's Nkunku dropping deep, playing a little 1-2, but dispossessed unfairly, according to the referee. Ruter penalised, and a free kick for Chelsea right in the centre of the Brighton half. 1-1 the score. We've only played 16 minutes, but worth reminding you, even at this early stage, that if it is level pegging after 90 minutes, we will have extra time and potentially penalties. This tie has to be decided tonight. If it goes that far, Troy Deeney might get home just in time for breakfast on Monday, when Jeff Sterling and Ali McCoist are back on TalkSport from 6 a.m.
Don't put that in the universe, that this is potentially going to extra time or penalties. You might be doing that, just you and Faye.
Producer Deck could take over as co-coms. Even he knew it was an own goal. Own goal from Verbruggen after 5 minutes, cancelled out by Jorginho Ruter with an excellent header guided into the far corner for Brighton. Goals are plenty, haven't we, on TalkSport across the afternoon. Stoke against Cardiff ended 3-3. Cardiff 3-1 up and 2-0 up in that game, ended up winning on penalties. As again, Chelsea come forward down the right. Pedro Neto up against Tariq Lamptey. It's difficult for Lamptey, isn't it? Because he's a right back playing at left back. and he's got a really tricky customer on his hands in Pedro Neto, but he does well there. Chelsea will build again from halfway with Moises Caicedo. If we had a boometer, I think he's getting slightly less stick, Caicedo, than the other two Brighton players, presumably because they got 115 million quid for him.
I think it's because they went into the 100 million mark for him. Everybody else kind of felt like he never asked for a move as well. I know he did, but the feeling of it was that it was going to happen.
Well, he's just picked out Pedro Neto with a lovely diagonal pass. Neto with a cross charge down by Lamptey on the edge of the area and headed out on the far side for a throw by Lewis Dunk. 18 gone, 1-1 on Talk Sport. Here come Chelsea again with Cucurella on the left-hand side. Quickly snapping away at his heels was Minte, and Cucurella takes no chances, plays it back into his own half, and Chalobah. Now Gusto picks it up on the far side. He's had the ball nicked away by Matoma, but it's out for Chelsea. 8 times winners of the FA Cup. They were semi-finalists last season, and their record at this stage is mightily impressive. They've won 25 of their last 27 fourth-round ties, Chelsea. So history very much against Brighton this evening. Palmer gives it away with a needless trick, 10 yards outside his own penalty area. Hinshelwood turned into trouble and then has to play it back into midfield, and Baliba. And here's Jan-Paul van Hecker. All the outfield players are inside the Chelsea half at the moment, as Veltman tried to thread the ball down the right-hand side for Minte. Minte not quite on his toes, he apologises, and Sanchez will clear it away at 1-1.
Brighton look like they're pressing a bit better now. They're feeling like they've grown into the game. You can see it's been started off with Daddy Welbeck and Ruter. They're kind of pressing as a 4-4-2. It's not allowing Chelsea to just dictate the play from the back, and it's forcing Sanchez to go long into, for some reason, into Sancho. He's overhit one there, as you can just heard the crowd give him a little bit of a jeer unnecessarily.
I think he's second in the boometer. I think Cucurella probably is leading that.
Absolutely. Also, Nkunku, just watching him, hasn't actually gone and played as a main striker. He's kind of next to Cole Palmer. It's like they don't want to get up against the two centre-halves and give Chelsea a focal point. That'll be something that probably would frustrate Maresca as well. When you look at Nicholas Jackson, his job normally is to stretch the pitch and allow for Palmer and the midfielders to move around. Now he's kind of coming in there and condensing it, and that's allowing for Brighton to keep growing.
Dunk with the ball forward, it hits the back of Gusto and falls kindly for Lamptey. Matoma bursting forward on the overlap. Matoma looking for Ruter. Lamptey was swept off his feet, and then I think it's Ruter who's gone flying into the challenge. He's going to get a yellow card for his troubles. I think that was frustration that Brighton weren't awarded a free kick a few seconds earlier, and Ruter has taken one for the team. He went clattering into Caicedo. I think that probably was a foul on Lamptey. You can understand Ruter's frustration, but it's a forwards tackle, isn't it?
Yeah, but that wasn't a foul on Lamptey. Lamptey's trying to bite because he's overran his touch. Ruter's just took one for the team there and didn't allow for Chelsea to counter-attack with Lamptey being out, and it would have been Neto actually going up against Lewis Dunk, which is what they're trying to do. They're trying to keep rotating the ball, Chelsea, from left to right, make one of the fullbacks jump, and then it allows for the centre-halves to then automatically be up against the winger where they've got the natural pace to beat them up.
Well, he's all action, Ruter. It's been a busy opening 21 minutes for him, with the equaliser to cancel out for Bruggen's own goal. Now he's got a yellow card and will have to manage himself for the remainder of the game. 1-1 the score, as Neto comes scooting down the right for Chelsea. That's a good challenge by Lamptey, firm but fair despite Neto's protestations, and Lamptey has raced with the ball into the Chelsea half. Welbeck switching out to this right-hand side, forcing Minte just a little wide, but still on the front foot here. Brighton. Minte into the penalty area, plays it against Cucurella, and then it's smashed upfield on the half volley by Dewsbury Hall. And well, Lamptey, diminutive as he is, was never going to win the header, but he just managed to cushion it down his chest and then plays it back to Verbruggen.
Every time a player goes down, I'm turning into that old man that just moans. Lamptey just won the ball. He actually fell over. Neto ran into him. Neto then falls over because he's lost the ball, and he's literally sitting on the floor crying for a foul. Just get up and play, man.
Does that mean when you were a player you weren't an old man who moaned?
No, I was a young man who moaned. I always moaned is the key part, but you just like, I don't know, I just miss when football was a little bit more aggressive. I'm not saying go back to like the days of Vinnie Jones and things like that, but I'm saying have a bit more combative edge and allow these really good footballers to showcase why they're so good, because they're skipping past people, not when somebody...
A free kick taken quickly by Chelsea, but it's back with Verbruggen, the Brighton goalkeeper. 1-1 as we reach the midway point of the first half here at the AMEX Stadium. Floodlights beaming brightly. We're in the heart of the Sussex Downs as Van Hecke knocks it over the top, looking for Minte. A race for pace with Chalobah. He got there, Minte, and he just played the ball into what he thought was a dangerous area, but he was too quick for his teammates, and nobody in the centre was able to get on the end of it as Sanchez plays it out to this left-hand side, and Chalobah in the bright orange boots, the former Crystal Palace loanee. Cucurella looking for Sancho, who slipped, and that allows Brighton to win it back with Van Hecke. Welbeck with his back to goal plays it into Veltman on the edge of the area. Now Hinchelwood infield for Lewis Dunk. Much more control of the game now for Brighton than they had in the first 10 minutes when they conceded that ridiculous goal. Palmer's cross scooped into his own net by Verbruggen, quickly cancelled out by Ruter's header, and a bit more confidence, Troy, now about Brighton's play.
Yeah, and weirdly, Chelsea are overplaying now. We said it in the build-up. They do this thing where they don't kill teams off in those moments, is what I said in the build-up, and it felt like that for the first 5, 6, 7 minutes. But as soon as Cole Palmer scored, you wanted them to go and kick on again, and it actually became a little bit too easy for them. Just watching them now, it's Brighton who are on the ascendancy, and I don't remember saying Cole Palmer's name for the last 5, 6 minutes. They need to get him more involved.
I think his last meaningful action was when he tried that silly trick inside his own half and gave the ball away, and he's now been flagged offside, Palmer, as he looked to attack down the right. So it's going to be a free kick for Brighton in their left-back position. You are listening to Brighton against Chelsea in the FA Cup, live on TalkSport with Carling, the official beer partner of the Emirates FA Cup. 18 plus, please drink responsibly. Enzo Maresca, stony face, the Chelsea manager, hands in pockets on the edge of his technical area. He turns 45 on Monday, so looking for an early birthday boost here. Certainly got it from Verbruggen early on, but will be disappointed, I think, with the goal that Chelsea conceded so soon after taking the lead. I mentioned Brighton's poor home form. No wins in 5 here at the Amex, no away victories in their last 4 for Chelsea, so something's going to have to give as the ball is knocked forward for Dewsbury Hall on the edge of the area. Well defended by Veltman, whose cross created the equaliser for Ruter. Now Verbruggen is going to try and play the ball forward, but he sliced it almost into our commentary position. It's going to be a throw-in for Chelsea, not too far shy of the 18-yard line on this near left touchline. That really continues a disappointing start to the evening for the Brighton keeper.
He's a bag of nerves, isn't he? That one there, he did actually need to go back to him. It goes back unnecessarily to him, puts him under a bit of pressure, one touch, and then just shanks it out to us. I nearly got my head on that one.
I'll tell you what, you'd have been proud of the header that Ruter buried, wouldn't you?
Oh, it was a real good finish, a proper striker's finish. It's all about the cross though, Crookie. All that play on the ball.
Good ball out to the right, kept in by Neto, down by the right corner flag over on the far side of the ground. He's got Lamptey to try and work his way past. He gets the cross into the area, and Minte, I think, ducked underneath it because he knew it was going out.
Little touch on it, just knocks it into Jadon Sancho,
and it goes behind for a goal kick.
Really good play.
Good delivery from Neto.
To see just that little touch, just knocks it onto his shoulder. If he doesn't touch that, Sancho's going to take a touch on his chest and get a shot off 5-6 yards out. But really good defending.
I keep playing it short though from these goal kicks, and Troy's already alluded to the fact that Verbruggen not exactly high in confidence. I wonder if maybe a more direct route from those dead balls inside their own half might be the way to go. Veltman's given it away to Dewsbury Hall. Belabor went down off the ball, but no free kicks of the referees. Allowed play to flow quite nicely, Jarrod Gillett so far. Neto, right corner of the penalty area, into Cole Palmer. Always a danger when he's lurking on the edge of the box, Palmer. Quickly closed down by 2 Brighton bodies, and he plays it out to this left-hand side in Cucurella. Sancho is going to try and run at Veltman. Good challenge by the Dutchman, and then he's gone flying into the challenge on Cucurella. He's trying to haul his former teammate back to his feet. Clearly feels Cucurella made a meal of that. It's a yellow card for Veltman, and A little bit of a fracas down by the left corner flag. There are 4 or 5 players involved. Troy, your view on that?
I'm just trying to assess what's... because it's a bad tackle, but it's not a tackle that he's got in intentionally. Veltman just took a little step in over Sancho, and then he's just missed a tackle, but it's the reaction after.
Is it the scissor movement as well from Veltman, maybe?
Listen, it's a yellow, but it's not a nasty tackle. Cucurella obviously making the most of it, but then he's trying to pick him up, drag him up as if he's dived, and weirdly then what that makes is everyone get involved. And yeah, I was just trying to assess, like, why would you do that? It's clearly a foul. Just get on with it. You've had a bit of a stinker.
28 minutes gone. Brighton 1, Chelsea 1. Free kick for Chelsea. 4 yards in from the left touchline. Roundabout level with the edge of the Brighton penalty area. Palmer and Caicedo are the 2 Chelsea players stood over the ball. Tosin, who we saw on TalkSport 2 score a couple of goals against Morecambe in the last round, has just come over and whispered into the ear of his 2 teammates and then makes his way back into the box. Tosin.
Do you reckon Palmer shoots here? Near post?
Well,
I would.
After that first goal, you might well test Verbruggen. What he actually does is put his cross straight against Minte. It bounces off the Brighton man behind for a bit of a fortuitous corner. It was by Cole Palmer's very high standards. Sunday League delivery, that.
Yeah, look, they're all just moving in as well. I think they were just trying to bounce one in front of the keeper, see what he's about. Unfortunately, just gets it a little bit wrong.
Well, the goal came from a short corner on this left-hand side. That was where the move manifested itself. Palmer, I think this time, is going to play it into the box. Caicedo is available if he decides to go down the same route. But he's just put his right arm in the air, and that suggests we're going to see it whipped into the edge of the 6-yard box. Good header away by Welbeck. Gusto tries to bring it down, but it was a bit half-hearted, and then it's cleared, and Caicedo knocks it back towards the Brighton box where Lewis Dunk can control it, and Lamptey looks to release Ruter, their goal scorer, but Gusto is there first, plays it back to Sanchez, and it stays 1-1 with half an hour played.
Really good from Brighton now. They feel like they're growing. I'm just looking at Maresca down to our right-hand side. Very animated, very emotional person anyway, but he's showing his frustration to the bench. I don't think he's happy with the lack of control. I also feel that we haven't mentioned any of those front players enough, considering the start of the game that Chelsea had.
Yeah, I think that will be the disappointment for Maresca, how quickly they surrender that initiative, and they've surrendered possession on the edge of the area, but managed to smuggle it back to Sanchez in the end, and he bowls it out to Nkunku. Now Sancho, the number 19 for Chelsea, wearing pink boots tonight, into Caicedo, the Ecuadorian, and Gusto will just knock it forward down the right to Palmer. Not really where Chelsea want Cole Palmer in possession, 5 yards inside Brighton territory. I think Fabian Hertzl will be quite content to see Palmer on the ball there. Caicedo out to Cucurella, the left back.
Because what you can see with Cole Palmer is, if he's in.
That's a good ball forward by Cucurella, and a brilliant run by Nkunku, and there is Palmer inside the box, and he heads it onto the roof of the net. Would have been a wonderfully worked Chelsea goal. For once, Palmer's shooting radar not quite on target, and a let-off for Brighton. It stays 1-1.
Why didn't Nkunku shoot? I was literally just about to say, the reason Cole Palmer's dropping down is because he knows all they have to do is just clip a little ball over the top of this really, really high line. Caicedo then does it. He's going through to Nkunku. For some reason, 8 yards out, he flicks it back across. I don't know why he doesn't shoot.
Well, that was a big problem in the game at Stamford Bridge, and Fabian Hertzl seemed to make a concerted effort after Palmer's demolition job in that first half that they wouldn't have such a high line, but we have seen it from Brighton tonight. Did that surprise you?
Absolutely, because you see in a team that's just lost 7-0, unless they've had a meeting that said, right, let's go back to what we want to do, stick to our principles, because maybe he's tweaked it over the last few weeks. I haven't seen Brighton enough in person to comment on that, but I'm just thinking it's too obvious. Shrewsbury Hall got through, was a bad touch. Neto's got through twice, and now Nkunku, literally just by a little clip, and it's a 30-yard clip. It's not hard for any Premier League player to do.
Here they are again with Nkunku inside the centre circle, pokes it out to Sancho in the left wing position. Nobody in Chelsea black inside the area, so Sancho checks back into midfield, and Kiernan Dewsbury Hall, his minutes have been limited since that £30 million move from Leicester in the summer as well. Sancho back to Cucurella on this left hand side, and then scoops the ball into his own half. A more difficult pass then I think he needed a play there for Chalobah, who does bring it under control and knocks it back to his goalkeeper Sanchez. It's almost nonchalant there from Jadon Sancho with that delivery.
Do you see that, how high the line is again though? It's just gone back to Sanchez in goal. They're right up on the halfway line again. This is what they kind of came away from. So if Chelsea can get the ball into that holding midfielder or a spare midfielder, I'm just watching Cole Palmer laying into the boys, saying, give me the ball. They're in every time. It's a foot race with the back four.
The score is Brighton 1, Chelsea 1 on Talk Sport. After us this evening, Adam Catch from the team will bring you live commentary of Derek Chisora's last fight on UK soil as he takes on Otto Wallin. It's the first of 4 massive upcoming boxing commentaries, including that unbelievable card on February 22, headlined by Artur Beterbiev and Dimitri Bivol. Tonight it's Chisora against Wallin, live from 10 p.m. on Talk Sport. That's after we've seen which of these two teams can land the knockout blow in this FA Cup 4th round tie. 1-1 with 12 first half minutes to play. It's been a really entertaining spectacle, and Brighton have a throw down by Chelsea's left corner flag. They play it all the way back to their skipper Dunk inside the centre circle. Matoma with those dancing feet tried to take on Pedro Neto, instead just opts to keep possession. They've got it back inside their own half with Van Hecker, the Dutchman, Brighton. And then Dunk opens up his body and strides a few paces into Chelsea territory before again checking back into his own half. And Van Hecker, here's Veltman, a Dutch Cup winner with Ajax, Champions League semi-finalist with the Eredivisie Giants, Joël Veltman. It was his cross headed in by Ruter that cancelled out Bart Verbruggen's rather embarrassing 5th minute own goal for Brighton. Dunk switches the play out to this right hand side. Good take by Ruter. Immediately invites the pressure from Cucurella, and Cucurella pokes it through the legs of Fabian Herzler and out for a Brighton throw right on halfway.
Lewis Dunk looks like he's just holding his groin after that big diag there, that big switch, which won't be good for Brighton. Already sending out people to warm up.
Looks in a little bit of discomfort, the Seagulls captain. I think he's just trying to delay the throw-in being taken. He's down on his haunches inside the centre circle. Immediately Adam Webster is sent out to go through his paces. They've got one of their January signings on the bench for the first time as well. Here and cash in £9 million from Derby. Derby, who parted company with their manager Paul Warne yesterday. John Eustace of Blackburn, one of the front runners for that job, but cash in £9 million he cost Brighton. Will also be hoping to make his debut this evening, but not in these circumstances.
Just thinking, Crookie, looking at the benches and how things are, feels like a game for Madueke, someone that runs without the ball or drives in and gets at the back of this Brighton line. That line's really high, really high.
He's been given a bit of treatment, Lewis Duncan, at the moment. He's going to try and run off whatever problem he does have. 36 minutes gone, 1-1, throw in for Brighton. High up on this right hand side, but again they've gone back to Dunk inside the centre circle. And Brighton content just to slow the game down to a walking pace, and Lewis Dunk has just exchanged a couple of passes with Hinshelwood. Matoma injecting a bit more urgency, and he's got Lamptey to his left. He just had his head down there and ran into trouble in the form of Caicedo.
Neto just went down with no one around him, which doesn't look good.
And Caicedo is holding his back of his left knee as well. Pedro Neto down, seems to have a problem with his left leg. So again we're going to get the physios coming on. It gives me a chance to tell you about 3 more live FA Cup commentaries coming your way tomorrow, including Plymouth against Liverpool. That's a 3 o'clock kickoff on Talk Sport. You won't hear that anywhere else on national radio. We start at Ewood Park with the aforementioned John Eustace, and Blackburn against Wolves, potential for an upset there. 12:30 they're underway, and at 5:35 it's Aston Villa against Tottenham in an all Premier League tie. So a busy Sunday on Talk Sport. Both managers taking the opportunity while Pedro Neto is down receiving treatment to issue some instructions. Fabian Herzler on the pitch, very demonstrative in conversation with Jean-Paul Van Hecker. There's a bit of an exchange between Enzo Maresca and Christopher Nkunku as well. What will the two bosses be saying, Troy?
Just looking at Maresca, it looks to me as if he's trying to say to Nkunku, I need you making more selfless runs, running in behind for the team. But just for Neto there, weirdly, just watching the replay of it, he runs to go and press, and then just kind of stops and goes down. But now he's having his toe sprayed.
Yeah, meanwhile, Noni Madueke is out warming up. He has had a history of injuries, though, Pedro Neto.
So he's got bad toenails. Honestly.
You are such a harsh man.
What are we doing here?
Does
he not realise we've got the motorway to get after?
He's just putting his boot back on. Noni Madueke is warming up. Have got a plethora of options on their bench, actually, tonight, Chelsea, when you consider how much has been lavished on this squad. Madueke, Enzo Fernandez, Levi Colwill, the most senior outfield replacements available. Then you've got youngsters like Tyreek George, who got a couple of assists against Morecambe in the last round. Josh Achiampong, who made his Premier League debut recently. And a couple of newer additions in Aaron Anselmino, signed in the summer. And then Mateus Amugu, Chelsea's only real January recruit. £15 million he cost. Wonder if we'll see any of those over the course of the evening. Probably not all the time. The game is so tight. 1-1 with 39 minutes played. We are going to get a few added minutes at the end of this first half, much to Troy's delight. Have to get the driver to turn the engine off for a bit longer. Waiting outside the VIP entrance here at the AMEX, no doubt. Here's Lamptey coming forward down the left for Brighton. 1-1. Not much to choose between the two teams. Chelsea started the brighter, got that fortuitous goal when Verbruggen spilt a cross from Palmer into his own net on 5 minutes, but very quickly cancelled out by Ruter's header, and Brighton have seen a lot more of the ball since then. And actually Verbruggen hasn't really been tested since he palmed the ball into his own net. Here's Minte looking to run at Cucurella. Sancho back doing his defensive duty, plays it dangerously along his own 18-yard line, but Dewsbury Hall scoops it clear, and here's the fleet-footed Nkunku. He's got Cucurella on the overlap. Cucurella, left corner of the penalty area, cheers again from the Brighton fans, and Nkunku takes the ball off him. And then it's good defending by Ruter and out for a throw.
Yeah, Lewis doesn't look right. Lewis don't go down.
Well, after the stick you were giving Pedro Neto, it's worth pointing out that Lewis Dunk isn't a player who goes down easily.
No, we also tried to stay up and play on and get after it as well, but Minter's just gone down as well on this left-hand side, so they're clearly not appreciating just how busy it is at this time of night.
Yeah,
I do say that in jest, by the way, before I get complaints on the again from TalkSport.
Well, Minte's just being helped back to his feet by Veltman, but a bit more alarming. The issue with Lewis Dunk and Adam Webster is getting ready to replace the Seagulls captain. Of course, these two meet again here in the Premier League on Friday night. You'll hear that game live and exclusive on TalkSport. And it could well be that Fabian Hertzler will need to reshuffle his back line. Adam Webster hasn't played that much football this season, but he's going to be pitched in here for the final 5 minutes plus added time at the end of the first half and into the second. So Kieran Cashin will wait a bit longer for his debut.
Sorry to interrupt. It looks like Lewis's left rib. That's what it looks like. But they're just telling him, Adam Webster, just to wait a second. It looks like he's trying to move again, but it's his left rib. He must have took a hit earlier. He's tried to play on and...
Well, is he just going to try and get through until half-time here,
yeah,
you wonder?
maybe.
It's a thumbs up. Indicate there's no Webster. Has just put on his Brighton shirt. Mixed messages from the physios. Lewis Dunk is off receiving treatment, so for the minute, Brighton are down to 10. Fabian Hertzler just trying to get a clear picture of exactly what is happening, but I think he is going to try and come back on Dunk.
He's just banged a couple painkillers as well. I just see that. I've been there and done that. When you're in pain, just get as many as you can.
The old warhorse is going to try and play through the pain barrier here. Webster has put his tracksuit top back on and will take his seat just a few feet down below us. Brilliant vantage point here in the commentary position, right behind the home dugout on the halfway line, and Webster is going to go out and make sure he stays warmed up.
It's a bit snug here, isn't it? You taking up all the room again.
Yeah, it's one of the more cosy press boxes, but we don't mind that. We enjoy each other's company. Here's Pedro Neto, right-hand side for Chelsea. 1-1 the score. The game's just got a little bit fragmented as a result of those stoppages as we tiptoe towards halfway. Caicedo, good ball into the area. Gusto brings it down, looks to get a cross away. Well defended by Lamptey, just forces Gusto to carry the ball over the byline. It's going to be a goal kick for Brighton.
The game plan's there though for Chelsea. Is what we call in the game an up back through. So just literally go into the first player, whoever that is, the highest one, set it off, have a third man running in behind, and Brighton are all at sea because they're so aggressive in the press. They're going forward. If you run selflessly without the ball, you'll get in every single time against them. And again, last-ditch defending from Lamptey.
Verbruggen being closed down inside his own penalty area, gets good distance on the left-footed clearance away, and then Ruter has bamboozled Tosin. He's into the penalty area. Ruter, he plays it across the face of goal, and Cucurella has no choice but to knock it behind for a corner. I just wonder if he could have got the shot away a little bit earlier. Ruter, having picked the pocket of Tosin, drove into the box. I think, to be fair, Tosin gobbled up the ground and just knocked him off balance, and by the time he was into a shooting position, the angle was too tight. He realised that. He was looking for Minte, and it's spooned behind by Cucurella for a corner. 1-1.
Tosin's pace has got him out of there because that's a real bad lack of concentration. Ball's just been cleared. It's aimless into the corner at the edge of the halfway line, and for some reason he tries to control it. It just misses it, and allows for Ruter to try and take it forward. Thankfully he's got the pace to get back, but Chelsea just coming off the boil a little bit. This will be frustrating for Maresca in terms of concentration and application. I wouldn't be surprised if he gives them the rocket at half-time.
There's only 2 wins in their last 8 games, Chelsea. Certainly not playing as well as they were at the start of the season. Good ball in by Minte, hooked down inside the box by Welbeck. Lamptey then nods it towards goal, and Hinshelwood flying in. He couldn't get his studs on it. The offside flag would have gone up anyway. So it stays 1-1, and Gusto has just volleyed it towards the halfway line, where it's brought down by Sancho, but his pass is behind Palmer, and then Palmer shouted it was his ball to Chalobah. Palmer forward to Dewsbury Hall. We're about to find out how many added minutes there will be at the end of this first half. 3, I'm told, as Moises Caicedo picks up possession 15 yards inside Brighton territory, and again he's looking at that ball over the top, and Dewsbury Hall able to bring it down inside the area. Here's Sancho. Can he get the cross in from the left-hand side? It deflected off a Brighton player, and Lewis Dunk, well, if he's got a rib problem, the last thing he wanted to do was chest the ball back to Verbruggen, but that's exactly what he did, Lewis Dunk.
The problem for Chelsea without Nicholas Jackson is there's nobody in the box. So Sancho has no other opportunity there other than to cross the ball. And just as I'm looking into the box, the furthest player forward is Dewsbury Hall. He's got Cole Palmer on the edge of the box, and then Cuckoo behind him. So it's a real difficult one for Chelsea. That's something that Maresca's going to have a conversation with, because if Nicholas Jackson is injured, somebody's got to step up and somebody's got to start running in behind, because at this moment in time it's becoming a little bit one-dimensional, a bit too easy to play against.
It baffled me during the transfer window when there were these talks with Manchester United about Alejandro Garnacho, when it's pretty clear that they've got a lot of players in that position, Chelsea. What they really need is a proven centre forward.
And
they've got a player down inside the area. It's Cole Palmer, which is a worry, as Brighton look to launch the counter. Minte crosses into the area, good header away by Tosin, and then Pedro Neto completes the clearance. Palmer is back on his feet now. It wasn't just the Chelsea fans who were worried about that. Thomas Tuchel, wherever he's watching, I'm sure would have been concerned as well. But Palmer back on his feet, and Brighton back in possession down their left-hand side. Belieber slams his cross against Caicedo and then plays it back to Van Hecke, and Van Hecke with a badly overhit pass into the penalty area just when Brighton were committing men forward and looking to create an attack. And Lewis Dunk just caught Palmer there with his left arm. We haven't got VAR until the next round of the FA Cup. Would they have had a look at that, Troy?
Yeah, they've had a look at it, but I would have said exactly what I'm about to say. Get up. Like, he's just touched him with his forearm.
We need more people like you in the VAR room, I would suggest.
Yeah, listen, Cole Palmer's trying his luck there, but he's clipped him on the shoulder at best, and he's holding his face. I just don't like that element of the game. These are unbelievable football players, but come on, stand up, take a bit of a hit.
We saw it, didn't we, in that EFL Cup game you were at with TalkSport on Thursday. Richarlison, having been caught by Van Dijk, went down as if he wouldn't be able to play on. Luckily, VAR didn't intervene. Luckily for Liverpool anyway. Here's Ruter down the right, looking for Minte. Cross comes Chalobah, and he does well there, just gets his body between Minte and the ball, wins the foul. Hurts are frustrated. Free kick for Chelsea inside their own box, and probably Troy. We're going to go into half-time at 1-1.
Yeah, it looks that way. All the stoppages and the breaks in play have really just disjointed this last 20 minutes of the half. I do think that Brighton will be the happier of the two teams. Obviously having that bad start and the character that they've shown and the bravery on the ball towards the end to start playing. Maresca and this Chelsea team look like they're at a training ground. They don't feel there's an urgency to go and win. So I think he's going to have a real big team talk here, because not much happening from them.
Last few seconds of the first half. Veltman allows the ball to run out of play on this near side. It will be a Brighton throw. We've now played the minimum of 3 added minutes at the end of the opening 45. Quite a few Brighton fans already are making their way for half-time refreshment. Well, we are going to lose a Premier League team here tonight, but we're no nearer to learning which one. Chelsea made a lightning quick start. Bart Verbruggen gifted them a 5th-minute lead when the Brighton goalkeeper palmed the cross from Palmer into his own net, but Brighton equalised just 7 minutes later. Joel Veltman with a cross from the right-hand side, brilliant header, guided into the far corner by Jorginho Ruter. Chances at a premium since then. Big second half to come. It is Brighton 1, Chelsea 1.
Who's going to be the happiest of the two head coaches going in at half-time there, Troy?
Has to be the Brighton manager, has to be, because that start was awful in terms of the keeper just throwing it in. You're set, you're ready to go. You've put your team in a position to go and have the instructions, and unfortunately they throw one in and it's a mistake. But the way that they conducted themselves, they got on the ball, started moving and playing, I think there was, they're the best of the two teams going into this second half. But I just think, if I'm Chelsea, I'd be really frustrated if I was the manager. The game was in the palm of their hands, and we spoke about it before in terms of just that killer instinct to go and kill games off and take the tempo away. This place went flat, didn't it?
And Crookie said that in commentary. He said, and you could see the belief in the players immediately seep out of them. 5 minutes into the game, and that happens to you after you're coming into the game off the back of a 7-0 defeat in the Premier League. But actually, the Brighton players kept calm, which was really important. Yeah,
and I think Chelsea backed off and felt this was going to be an easy game, just keep moving the ball. And it went into a training ground tempo from Chelsea's point of view, both with the press and without the ball, And I think for Brighton, that allowed them to gain a little bit of momentum. Obviously, the goal comes out of nowhere, but it's a really good goal. But for them, it then felt like, right, go on then, go take the game on. But that's where that lack of confidence, that 7-0, just wasn't there for them to go and do it. But I do think it's a bigger team talk for Maresca. I really do. There's a lot of problems there. They're not breaking down this Brighton midfield as easy as they once were in the first 10 minutes. There's no striker. There's literally...
no focal point, have they, at all?
And Kuka's basically playing as another number 10.
I've hardly heard his name mentioned by you both.
I think he's touched the ball 3 times. I do a little tally. I think he's touched the ball 3 times.
Wow.
So for me, I just think that's an issue moving forward, as I said in commentary.
Would you play Cole Palmer through the middle? We've seen him do it before, and we know he can do it well, or not?
No, I think you lose too much of his game. What I think Cole Palmer needs is someone behind him, and it's probably Fernandes on a normal time, that's brave and can wrap a ball into him and allow him to get the ball quicker. He's getting frustrated, that's why he's dropping so deep to get the ball. And he's playing the passes through to Drewsbury Hall that he wants. As a striker, arguably they may have to go with Neto. They need someone that's willing to run without the ball. At this moment in time, it's too predictable. And we see this with like the teams like Arsenal, even Man City at this point. When you're trying to do something and it works for so long, teams start to figure you out and stop and try and stop you. They worry more about stopping you than going and scoring. And I'm just looking at this Chelsea team, and it's very much the same. They get out one side, they should cross the ball, they can't cross the ball, so they come all the way back and do it again the other side, and it's just becoming a bit too predictable at the moment.
Well, Enzo Maresca has the option of Enzo Fernandez on the bench if he wants to use him. I'm going to trademark your "what a stinker" for Verbruggen's own goal. That did make me chortle a little bit. It was terrible, but they have rallied, and actually Brighton could have been ahead going in at the break. Jorginho Rutter was fantastic as a Brighton fan comes over to greet Troy.
Yeah, he's just showing me last time I was here, João Pedro, obviously played with him at Watford, again another Watford legend.
Cheers
Watford
for that,
legend.
yeah.
He came and said hello, and he was injured at the time, but we was on air, and all the fans wanted a picture, and obviously security had to just move them out of the way because he'd come to say hello. That's called respect, I think.
Well, you say that. Half-time here at the AMEX in our 5th and final FA Cup commentary of the day here on TalkSport. Brighton 1, Chelsea 1. We'll round up all the action from earlier today next, plus bring you the second half.
Game day.
The rousing radio broadcast.
FA Cup Game Day live
on TalkSport.
The Emirates FA Cup live on TalkSport with Carly.
What a driver, what a goal! Oh, yes!
The official partner of the Emirates FA Cup. 18 plus, always drink responsibly.
Yo, UK, listen up. At BetMGM, we give our players sports betting entertainment like nobody's business. Football, horse racing, darts, boxing, tennis, golf, NFL, NBA, offers? Oh, you know we got offers. Like bet £10 and get £40 in free bets. BetMGM, it's showtime.
New customers only. Wagering requirements and conditions apply. 18 plus. Please gamble responsibly.
If you're in the trade, you need workwear that works as hard as you do. Portwest Protective Workwear is designed to provide total protection and maximum comfort for trade and industry specialists. With award-winning product innovations, Portwest only uses world-class stretch or protective fabrics, trims and technologies, meaning our products are built to last. Portwest's design team also ensures that the products look as good as they perform. Portwest. Workwear that works overtime. Find out more at portwest.com.
It's past 7 p.m. and your money's winding down. Why not keep it working while you rest? Download the XTB app and let your money work for you. Buy stocks and ETFs commission-free. Invest passively with investment plans. Open an ISA account. Earn up to 4.75% interest on uninvested funds and more. XTB, where your money works.
Your capital is at risk. XTB Limited is a global fintech, not a bank. Deposits should be made for investment purposes only. T's and C's apply.
Looking for a sportsbook you can trust? Say hello to Kaluki. The messenger betting service where having a flutter is as easy as texting a mate. No complicated apps to download, just straightforward betting, competitive prices and fast payouts. Bet on your favourite sports and track your wins, all while chatting on Messenger with Kaluki as if you were talking to a pal. Best odds guaranteed on UK and Irish horse racing, along with daily boosts and enhanced places. Enjoy the newest way to bet. Just visit kalukisportsbook.com. Over 18s only. T's and C's apply. BeGambleAware.org.
Right now, B&Q Club and TradePoint members get 15% off when you spend £75 or more on everything in-store and thousands of products online. Not a member? Join today and save today. Sign up in-store or online. Hurry, ends Tuesday. You can do it when you B&Q it. For full terms and conditions, see DIY.com or tradepoint.co.uk.
At Betfair, we're about finding different ways to play. Like with our 90-minute guarantee. We've all been there. The clock ticks over into 90 minutes, and then a speculative cross into the box ricochets off a knee and goes in, ruining your bet. But with Betfair's 90-minute guarantee, if your bet is winning at 90 minutes or full time, we pay out. Betfair. Play different.
Applies to match odds 90 market or markets with the 90 icon. Sportsbook exclusive. Terms and conditions apply. 18 plus. BeGambleAware.org.
Fight night on TalkSport with USN. Your partner in performance. Knockout names, insider news and nailed-on adrenaline from UK radio's hardest-hitting, closest to the canvas boxing showcase. Plus a weekly undercard of big fight build-ups, backstage bust-ups and heavyweight debate. Fight night, tonight from 10 on TalkSport with USN. Prepare, perform and recover faster in 2025 with USN Sports Supplements. Visit usn.co.uk.
On 1089 and 1053 medium wave.
online,
On your mobile.
on the app,
And on your smart speaker. Talk Sport.
This is FA Cup Game Day on TalkSport. Faker Others with you this evening. Thanks so much for your company. Half-time here at the AMEX and our final commentary of the day before we bring you Fight Night live at the conclusion of this match. Derek Chisora taking on Otto Wallin in Manchester. It's Chisora's 42nd and final fight on home soil, so you don't want to go anywhere. Stay here with us. Right, an end-to-end first 45 minutes here at the AMEX, so let's hear the half-time highlights in partnership with Carling.
Emirates FA Cup half-time highlights on Talk Sport with Carling. Brilliantly refreshing from the first sip to the last. 18 plus, always drink responsibly.
On this fourth round Saturday, it's a game that comes with a fair bit of extra spice, given the number of coaches and players who've swapped Brighton for Chelsea in recent years. Pedro Neto arrows a pass back to Palmer, and it's been fumbled in by Verbruggen. It's an absolute calamity from the Brighton goalkeeper, and Brighton, having been hit for 7 last weekend, have that sinking feeling again. Back into the box, and it's been headed in by Jorginho Ruter. And Brighton, in double quick time, are back on level terms. Ruter with the header.
Right, it's been quite the day, hasn't it, in the FA Cup here on TalkSport. That, though, was the half-time highlights, and thanks to Carling. 18 plus, please drink responsibly.
Emirates FA Cup half-time highlights on Talk Sport with Carling, the official beer partner of the Emirates FA Cup. 18 plus, always drink responsibly.
Oh, it has been an amazing day in the fourth round of the FA Cup. Let's remind ourselves of the fantastic fourth round Saturday.
Oh, it's in! It's an unbelievable goal. It's the goal of a lifetime. All the plaudits go to Jamie Donnelly.
We're witness to one of the best moments that I've seen.
Grealish in towards De Bruyne, towards goal, and in! And Manchester City lead for the first time. It's one of those days where the result far eclipses the performance. Leyton Orient 1, Manchester City 2.
Here comes Tavernier again, trying a drive from the edge of the area. Might drop for Jemison, blocked by Pickford, but it goes in anyway. And Everton have somehow found themselves 2 goals down.
Wigan 0, Fulham 2. The Premier League back in front almost instantly, and it's Rodrigo Muniz with his second.
It's now Stoke 3, Cardiff 3. Cardiff back on level terms.
Southampton 0. Burnley 1. Marcus Edwards has put the Championship side in front.
And Jayden Philogene was able to squeeze it past the goalkeeper, dove in. Coventry 1, Ipswich 4.
Cardiff have gone through on penalties against Stoke 4-2.
Back to Iwata! Oh! Pick that one out!
You can't strike it any better. Magnificent strike.
And then in towards Willett. Arriving late inside the 6-yard box through the legs of the goalkeeper, and in. It's Birmingham City 2, Newcastle 3.
Wow, there have been so many games, goals today in all the games. It's been wonderful to listen to across TalkSport. Leyton Orient 1, Manchester City 2 was how we kicked things off live on TalkSport. Orient were a goal up at half-time thanks to a sensational strike from Jamie Donnelly, but City came back in the second half. Kevin De Bruyne scoring a late winner. Millwall beat Leeds by 2-0 live on TalkSport 2. Ipswich comfortably beat Coventry by 4-1. Preston 0, Wycombe 0 is how it finished at full time, but Preston won 4-2 on penalties. 3-3 between Stoke and Cardiff, but Cardiff won that 4-2 on penalties. Southampton, their bad week goes from bad to worse. They lost by 1-0 to Burnley. Marcus Edwards on debut off the bench. Everton 0, Bournemouth 2. That was live on TalkSport 2. And Wigan 1, Fulham 2. Rodrigo Muniz with both goals for Fulham. So all those teams joined Manchester United in the 5th round draw after they beat Leicester 2-1 last night. Harry Maguire's controversial header in the last minute securing that victory. Replays show that Maguire was offside from Bruno Fernandes's free kick, but no VAR until the 5th round. So United are into the draw on Monday evening, as are Newcastle, who narrowly defeated Birmingham by 3-2 in an absolute cracker at St Andrews before we came here to the AMEX. And both managers, Eddie Howe and Birmingham boss Chris Davies, spoke to our reporter Tom Ross after the game. Davies was frustrated that Newcastle's first goal was deemed to be over the line.
It's hard to tell. I mean, I suppose you'd say this is why there's goal line technology, because you're always going to get a conclusive answer there. It seems harsh in our respects to us that a linesman from that far away has deemed it over the line when he could have easily gone the other way with it. So, unfortunately, that hasn't fallen for us, but, you know, these things happen.
We're doing OK in the Cups this year, and long may that continue, because we know how important every competition is. We really respect the FA Cup. We want to stay in it and try and navigate these really difficult early rounds. Today was a very, very difficult cup tie. We knew it would be. Very competitive team, Birmingham, and they ran us really close.
Yeah, they certainly did, but Newcastle midweek got themselves into the Carabao Cup final, and they're into the 5th round of the FA Cup. There was no Anthony Gordon in the squad today, though, and Eddie Howe said he's got a slight injury. He said he thinks it's only a small one, but enough for him not to feel comfortable travelling. So let's wait and see. Newcastle's next match is against Manchester City at the Etihad on Saturday in the Premier League. We've got 3 more FA Cup commentaries for you tomorrow. Blackburn against Wolves kicks off our coverage at 12:30. Plymouth against Liverpool is exclusive to TalkSport. That's a 3 o'clock kickoff, and then Villa Spurs follows that at 5:35. Also into Monday, we've got Doncaster against Crystal Palace and Exeter against Nottingham Forest on Tuesday, all on TalkSport. So be sure to join us for both and all of those games. In fact, 5 more FA Cup 4th round ties for you. If you're a rugby union fan, what a result for England in the Six Nations earlier on today as well. Elliot Daly's 79th minute try gave Steve Borthwick's side a thrilling 26-25 win over favourites France at Twickenham. It was such a cracking game. Earlier in the day, Italy had beaten Wales at 22-15. Ireland travel to Scotland tomorrow afternoon. Right, second half coming imminently here at the AMEX. Chelsea first out onto the pitch as the referee comes out with the ball under his arm. Jared Gillett waiting to kick off this second half, just waiting for the Brighton players to emerge out of the tunnel as everybody around us starts to take their seats. We have had 15 minutes of half-time. Looks like there's a change imminent as well, which your match commentator Alex Crook can bring us.
Yeah, no real surprise. Lewis Dunk twice going down for lengthy periods of treatment in that first half. Looks like he will not be coming out for the second half. Adam Webster, who was stripped and ready towards the end of the opening 45 minutes, is about to come on. Disappointing for Lewis Dunk. He's missed half a dozen games already with injury this season, and Webster will take his place alongside Jan-Paul van Hekke at the heart of this Brighton defence. No changes for Chelsea, with the teams locked at 1-1, and a reminder once again, if it stays that way until full time, we will be heading into an extra 30 minutes and potentially penalties on TalkSport. We will get a winner from this all Premier League tie one way or another this evening, and it will be Chelsea who took that early lead in the first half. Bart Verbruggen palming across from Palmer into his own net, cancelled out by Jorginho Ruter's header just 7 minutes later to get us back underway. Chelsea all in black, shooting from left to right in this second 45. Brighton in their blue and white striped jerseys, blue shorts and blue socks, attacking the goal away to our left, as they like to do actually, Brighton, in the second half of matches. And I'll run you through the 2 lineups for this second half. Brighton with that one change, Webster on for Dunk, so Verbruggen the goalkeeper, Veltman, Van Hekke, Webster and Lamptey the back 4, Hinshelwood and Belieber in front of them, Minte, Ruter and Mitoma are in behind Danny Welbeck, the lone striker. Chelsea have Robert Sanchez in goal, a back 4 of Gusto, Tosin, Chalabar and Cucurella. Then come Caicedo and Dewsbury Hall, with Pedro Neto on one wing, Sancho on the other, Palmer in the number 10 and Nkunku in for the injured Jackson up front tonight. Chelsea in possession on the edge of the Brighton penalty area. They're going to try and work it down this right-hand side with Pedro Neto. He looks to have run off whatever problem he had injury-wise in the first half. But Troy, how big a loss for Brighton? No Lewis Dunk for this second 45.
Yeah, I think Lewis is a real talisman for this team. Obviously he's the captain, but he also leads by drive and getting close to people as well. But I just think when you look at Webster, the skill set's not the same. He tries in his game, probably a little bit slower as well, but they're doing well. So I just think when it's all said and done, we need to just see what's happening here.
Ready for it. Here's Mitoma down the left-hand side for Brighton. He's got 2 Chelsea players in Gusto and Pedro Neto blocking his route into the 18-yard box. They've gone back for Webster. And now Van Hekke on halfway. Fabian Hürzeler, very animated, gesticulating furiously in the early exchanges of this second half. Brighton have won only 2 of their last 12 games in the Premier League. They've dropped to 10th in the table, so there is pressure on Hürzeler, who of course replaced Roberto De Zerbi in the summer after an amicable departure between De Zerbi and Brighton. But I think both the club and the Italian hothead were ready for a change.
I think we call hotheads passionate. That's what we call them, mate.
I mean, Hertzler's not exactly a cool cucumber, is he? To be fair, he's picked up a few bookings already this season as well. So Tony Bloom obviously has a type. The Brighton owner, the man who's bankrolled this magnificent stadium that we're sat in at the AMEX. They've got a brilliant state-of-the-art training ground and went big in the summer, Brighton, biggest spenders in Europe. They would expect to be higher than 10th in the table, and I think they'd expect a decent cup run as well, albeit this is a tricky fixture against Chelsea. Not too much goalmouth action early in this second half. We played 48 minutes, it's still 1-1. As Hinshelwood has his pocket picked by Dewsbury Hall, and here's Neto now down the right. Always lively when in possession. He's got Gusto on the overlap. Gusto with a low cross into the box, steered away by Hinshelwood. It was guided in towards Palmer initially. Back to Gusto again. Down the right, here's Pedro Neto, cuts in his left foot, he's looking for a shooting chance here, and it's blocked bravely by Hinshelwood. He goes down inside the area, and the referee is going to have to stop play as a result of that. Good block by Hinshelwood, still 1-1.
Yeah, he's took that one square in the chops there, I think, but Neto coming in off that right-hand side, feints twice. He actually goes through Danny Welbeck's legs, and it looks like he just hits Hinshelwood high in the chest or in the chin. Just watching the replay, it's just square in the abdomen. He'll be fine. He'll be fine.
Yeah, winded, no doubt. Jack Hinshelwood, it's only his second appearance since early November after injury. Played the opening 45 minutes against Forest in that 7-0 defeat and keeping his place tonight. Just the one change to the 11. We took that as a message from Fabian Hertzler that he wanted a response from his players to what happened at the City Ground. He's got one, I think, particularly after conceding so early in such comical fashion.
Great finish.
Verbruggen with the own goal, pushing the cross from Palmer into his own net, cancelled out by Jorginho Ruter, continuing his recent glut of goals. The record signing from Leeds in the summer. Here's Nkunku dropping very deep in his own half, hasn't really had too many opportunities to show off his striking prowess. Nkunku was linked with Manchester United in the summer, but was only in January rather, but was only willing to entertain a permanent move as opposed to a loan. As Lamptey takes a quick throw on this near side for Brighton. Still 1-1 on TalkSport. Lamptey trying to dribble his way into a crossing position. Gusto does well, and he clears it out for a throw down by the left corner flag.
Feels like Brighton have had a bit more of a pep talk, doesn't it? They've come out with the impetus to try and get the next goal and take the game to Chelsea. Feels like Chelsea players are waiting for something, waiting for Cole Palmer to do something and turn the screw. Going to have to be one where we watch the bench for Chelsea, I think.
Yeah, certainly Brighton look to have one or two more options than their visitors tonight in that regard. They've already had to make that one enforced change. Webster on for the injured Dunk at half-time. The ball is clipped down the right-hand side, looking for Minte, but Chalobah comes across imperiously, knew he was going to get there ahead of Minte and just waits for the bright yellow ball that we're using in the FA Cup tonight to trickle behind for a goal kick. Enzo Maresca now out on the edge of his technical area as Enzo Fernandez is sent to warm up by Chelsea. Don't forget, following us tonight, we've got that live boxing, Derek Chisora's last fight on UK soil against Otto Wallin, as Hinshelwood from the goal kick upfield from Sanchez didn't get a lot of distance on it, so Brighton can attack here with Matoma. Just runs across the D on the edge of the area and out to the right hand side, and Veltman very congested on the edge of that Chelsea box, and they've won it back with Dewsbury Hall, and he looks to set Cucurella away. Baliba comes across and concedes the throw. Bitty start to the second half, Troy Deeney.
Yeah, just watching Caicedo absolutely laying into Robert Sanchez back there, saying play the ball, and you can see. I always find it interesting when midfielders say that, because clearly the goalkeeper can't see you, so don't ask for the ball once it's gone. That's easy.
Pedro Neto trying to take on Matoma and Lamptey and winning a throw. I think what we got tonight is two goalkeepers a little short of confidence. We've seen it from Verbruggen already with a mistake he made for the opening goal. Sanchez obviously was dropped for the last Premier League game, and I think both managers, with that in mind, will be disappointed they've not been tested more.
Yeah, but also I feel that, again, just going back to the Brighton goal in Verbruggen, he's showcased over something. He had a bad start and he's grown into the game. Remember his right-footed shank that nearly hit us in the head over here. He's been in a situation where he's had to grow into the game. with Sanchez, every single time, I feel like it's concentration.
He's played Caicedo almost in trouble on the edge of the area there. Hinshaw couldn't quite get there, but it wasn't a great ball out by Sanchez.
But it's concentration with him all the time. It's not that he can't do the things. He's obviously a very good goalkeeper, but you just feel, and if I was a Brighton player today, I'd be like, he'll give me a chance. If I'm Danny Welbeck, I'll press him every time, because he'll do something silly.
He got his move to Chelsea from Brighton, the advice of Ben Roberts, now in charge of the goalkeeping department of Stamford Bridge, former goalkeeper coach here at the AMEX, as Chelsea come forward down their right. Malo Gusto infield to Caicedo. Short for Cole Palmer, who's got a bit of a frustrated figure. I think that he's not been able to influence proceedings more in the opening 54 minutes. 1-1.
But that's the frustration though, Crookie. He gets the ball there on the half turn, he turns, he puts a lovely ball in for Gusto, who's in behind Lamptey, and then they get to the edge of the box, they stop again, and then they recycle it all the way around. And I think his frustration is that he's not playing with a calibre of player that can do much more than that he's used to.
Caicedo's pass has found its way to Pedro Neto on the near side, teasing Tariq Lamptey, the left back for Brighton. Caicedo 25 yards from goal, rolls the ball back to Chalobah, and here's Caicedo again out to the right. Neto against Lamptey's been an intriguing battle to this point. Neto trying to tie the defender in knots, and he's got away from him. Deep cross to the far post, too deep. I wonder if there was a little touch there from Lamptey that just knocked Pedro Neto off balance, and that's why he ballooned the cross up into the air. Here come Brighton on the counter-attack. Ruter flicks it over the head of Caicedo. The Brighton fans enjoyed that one. He's been brought down, but he still found Karu Matoma. Matoma on the edge of the area. Good ball to the far post, looking for Minte. It just scooted away from him at the last possible moment. Minte slaps the turf in frustration. That was a really promising attack. It was brilliant skill from Ruter in the build-up, but it stays 1-1.
Much better for Brighton, and I think that's the difference between the two teams as well, Crookie. When they get away from Chelsea, they keep going. Lovely play from Ruter, fires it out to Matoma, who again doesn't stop, doesn't come back, drives, gets to the edge of the box, cuts on his right foot, loves a lovely little ball to the back post. Unfortunately, just a little bit too far for Minter. But when Chelsea go forward, it feels predictable. It feels like they're going to come back. It feels like they don't have that cutting edge. When Brighton go forward, you think they could score any time.
Clap of encouragement from Fabian Herzl, the Brighton manager as well, but just charged down a ball upfield and conceded a throw. Gusto takes the throw short to Caicedo, who goes long upfield looking for Pedro Neto. Lamptey got there ahead of the Portuguese international and cushions a pass back to Bart Verbruggen. 1-1, 11 minutes gone in the second half. It's our 5th live commentary across the TalkSport network on this 4th round Saturday, our 6th of 11 in total. 3 live games tomorrow, including exclusive coverage of Liverpool's trip to Plymouth. Liverpool in the hunt for a possible quadruple, having booked their place in the League Cup final, live on TalkSport on Thursday. As Baleba turns sweetly away from Dewsbury Hall and then scoops a lovely pass out to the right. A groan of appreciation from Troy Deeney, picked up by Minte. Had a chance for Veltman to cross into the centre. It's not away yet by Chelsea, and the end is just smashed upfield by Chalobah. Brighton have started the second half, the brighter of the two teams. It's still 1-1, but if there is going to be another goal in this game, you feel it will be for the home side.
Absolutely, you feel there's an intent as well. I'm just looking down at this Chelsea bench, they've gone to get some change. It looks like Enzo Fernandez is coming on.
Well, he was sent to warm up very early in the second half as the Brighton fans inside a packed AMEX stadium make their voices heard on TalkSport. Ruter able to turn away from Chalobah inside the centre circle. Matoma's going to have to be quick to keep that in play, but he does so, the Japanese international, and he's into the penalty area looking for Lamptey. Lamptey with a right foot shot that's blocked on the edge of the box. Dewsbury Hall gives it away, and Matoma is lifting it over the goalkeeper, and he finds the far corner, and Brighton have hit the front. Karu Matoma, the subject of a mega money bid from Saudi Arabia in the final hours of the transfer window, showed just why Brighton were never going to let him go. It's a lovely scoop finish over his former teammate Robert Sanchez into the far corner, and from 1-0 down after 5 minutes, it's now Brighton 2, Chelsea 1.
What a goal, what a goal. Really good first touch here, Alex, from Matoma it starts with wonderful play again from Ruter, gives it out to Matoma, he makes a ball that he should never ever get. But as he plays the ball back to Lamptey gets his shot off, and as it breaks, it goes to Dewsbury Hall. He plays the ball to Caicedo, and Chelsea are saying it's a foul because Caicedo falls over Lamptey. Take nothing away from this next touch though. As it breaks from Lamptey, it goes straight into Matoma. He takes it on the chest, trying his best not to fall over, and as the keeper comes out, just lifts it effortlessly with the outside of the right foot. Chelsea have made the change straight away, but we could feel that coming, couldn't you, Alex? You could feel there was a pressure and an understanding that Brighton were going to score.
A 6th goal of the season for Karu Matoma gives Brighton the lead in this FA Cup 4th round tie. Chelsea were ready to change anyway. Immediately Enzo Fernandez replaces Kiernan Dewsbury Hall. Well, they had a nightmare start to the first half. Fabian Herzl will be much happier with the way his team have applied themselves early in the second. 59 on the clock, and for the first time tonight the home team ahead, and Chelsea, who never lose in the 4th round of the FA Cup, well, that record is in big danger now. And it's still Brighton snapping away. It almost needs a mentality change from Chelsea, doesn't it? Because they've been so lethargic at the start of this second half. How do you suddenly start to go up through the gears?
Oh, great question. It's something that the manager's going to have to try and instill. Maybe a couple of changes. Maybe put a couple of young boys on there, maybe. I'm just looking at the bench. Do you put a few young boys who want to impress and showcase what they can do? Because it feels like an ego game. It feels like a lot of the Chelsea players think that this game they shouldn't really be playing this game, if you get what I mean. Why am I playing in the cup games?
He made the 6 changes, didn't he? Enzo Maresca. No real reaction from him in terms of his body language. Here's Cole Palmer. He's always capable of getting a team back in the game, but it's not been his night, and right on cue his pass to Nkunku is well overhit. The Frenchman is frustrated, and Cole Palmer just looks at the turf. Hour gone, Brighton 2, Chelsea 1.
I don't think that's a Cole Palmer pass. I really don't. I think that's a really poor run from Nkunku. Cole Palmer's got turned on the half turn, and as he's running towards the edge of the 18-yard box, Nkunku pulls away as if he wants it, much like a Thierry Henry used to do, pull up on the shoulder of the defender. And as Cole Palmer puts his head down, he just sprints inside and makes it impossible for him to get.
I mean, you mentioned that the Chelsea players were maybe asking for a foul in the build-up to the goal. Suggestion is it might have hit Tariq Lamptey's arm. Brighton don't care though, and they're coming forward into the penalty area again, crossing towards Welbeck from Minte. Deflected behind by Chalobah. Minte whips up the Brighton fans behind the goal. It's a corner. Well, we've seen this weekend people who don't want VAR. Well, those travelling Chelsea fans might be asking for it now. Certainly Leicester fans live on TalkSport were last night when Harry Maguire, clearly a yard offside, headed a late winner for Manchester United. And maybe Brighton have benefited from the lack of technology with their second goal. Expertly finished by Matoma, but should it have been disallowed in the build-up? Here comes the corner. Minte whipped in. Oh, it's a great delivery, and Danny Welbeck at the far post. Maybe just got caught underneath the ball. He heads it behind for a goal kick.
But how much better has the game been not waiting for VAR? And obviously your Man United team had a giant killing yesterday getting over that Leicester team, so you'll be happy with it.
Still in the hat. That's all that matters at this stage. At the moment, Chelsea won't be in the hat. The score is Brighton 1, Chelsea 1 here on TalkSport at the end of an action-packed day of FA Cup 4th round football. We've got live cricket as well. England need a win to keep their 3-match ODI series alive. The second one-day international against India live tomorrow on TalkSport 2 and the TalkSport Cricket YouTube channel. Our coverage starts at 7 a.m. Troy might be home by then. Teams and tosses at 7:30. The match begins at 8. At least at the moment, we're not getting extra time and penalties here.
Yeah, let's all hope and pray, eh? I'm just looking at this Chelsea team again. Unfortunately, seeing a lot of ego, a lot of finger pointing. I think it needs a couple more subs. Maybe I'm wrong, but it just feels like it needs an injection of energy and enthusiasm for this Chelsea team. It's very predictable.
Certainly by Brighton, the team who've had a bit between their teeth in the second half. They lead 2-1. We played 62 minutes. They were 1-0 down early on. Bart Verbruggen, their goalkeeper, with the own goal, turning Cole Palmer's tame cross into his own net, quickly countered out by a header from Jorginho Ruter, and Mitoma with a lovely finish to get the home team in front early in this second half. And that's Wasted ball in from Pedro Neto, sails over the head of everybody in black and behind for a goal kick. And you're right, you know, the body language of these Chelsea players, slumped shoulders everywhere as that cross came to nothing. Moises Caicedo in particular caught my eye, back on his old stomping ground.
They look frustrated. I'm just watching Cole Palmer point to the bench and ask where's the press, the point for the trigger of the press. It just looks to me like Chelsea are, I know they've made 6 changes, but a lot of disjointed players, a lot of players who, like I say, ego, feel like this game's beneath them a little bit. But they're not on a good run of form, Crookie, so I don't know where that's coming from. And the likes of Sancho, Pedro Neto, and also Nkunku, who are probably fighting for a first team place on a regular basis. I don't remember saying their name, do you?
Ball played forward, looking for Cole Palmer on the edge of the area, headed away by Webster. Palmer looking to make that darting run in behind. It's knocked up towards Welbeck on the halfway line. Tosin wins the header. And now it's with Belieber, who makes such a difference to this Brighton team.
Absolutely.
And he plays it back to Verbruggen, the goalkeeper. He'll be the most relieved man inside the stadium after that early calamity that at the moment isn't going to cost his team a place in the 5th round. Chelsea potentially about to become the highest profile casualty of round 4 so far. The rest of the big guns safely through. Manchester United, I mentioned last night, Newcastle had a bit of a scare at Birmingham, fell behind early, live on TalkSport this tea time, but they're in the hat as well. You would expect Liverpool to win at Plymouth live on TalkSport tomorrow. Tottenham Aston Villa is an all Premier League tie, so with some EFL teams already through, it might just open up for someone, maybe for Brighton. Haven't reached the final since way back in 1983. They were semi-finalists against Manchester United 3 seasons ago, lost on penalties at Wembley in a game they probably should have won. Certainly this would be a tonic to back-to-back Premier League defeats that they came into this game on the back of. 65 gone, they lead 2-1, but that's a mistake by Minte diving in, allows Sancho to come forward into the area. Fernandes looks to cut the cross back, and it's well cleared by Adam Webster. Just a little warning sign for Brighton that as poor as Chelsea have been since half-time, they still have weapons that can hurt them. Here's Tosin, the ex-Fulham man. Gusto out to the right, and Pedro Neto, number 7 in bright pink numbering on the back of his black jersey. Pedro Neto. Sort of know what he's going to do, though, don't you? Every time he gets the ball, he comes in his left foot.
Yeah, you do, but again, just jinking and jiving, not going anywhere. I just wondered, like, you're watching this game just like I am. Do you think it's a bit too predictable?
From Chelsea's perspective, absolutely. And a bit too one-paced as well. Which wasn't the case early on.
Yeah, no one running in behind. It feels like they all want to showcase that they're good players. When you've got such good players, talented players, you need selfless runs. You need someone to just run in behind, and that's an underrated skill that Nicholas Jackson does for this team. He's always on the shoulder. A bit like what Haaland does for Man City. He does a load of runs. He probably gets the ball 2 or 3 times, but when he does get them, they normally score. Just looking at this Chelsea team now, and it's going from left to right, across the back. Cole Palmer now is right next to Tosin getting the ball, and they're going inside, and Brighton are very, very comfortable. It's got to be perfect or a mistake for Chelsea to score.
Here's Sancho, left corner of the 18-yard box. Again, he's away from Minte, gets the delivery in. Good header away by Lamptey, leaping like a salmon inside his own penalty areas. Brighton ready, Diego Gomez to come on for his 3rd substitute appearance for the club. Sancho, urged on by the Chelsea contingent behind the goal, finds Fernandes, who looks to curl one left-footed into the top corner. He scoops it over the crossbar, but he gets the applause of his manager, Enzo Fernandez, for the effort. Goal kick for Brighton, who lead 2-1 with 67 played.
Yeah, finally the ball goes out to Jadon Sancho, and great run, overlapping run from Cucurella. I think the ball actually was pulled back for Cole Palmer to take it on the edge of the penalty area, but Fernandes takes a touch and then scoops it with his left foot, and unfortunately goes over. But I think the reason the manager's a lot happier is because there's a bit of tempo, as you said. At the moment, the tempo is very one-paced, very I have it, you have it, give it me back. You need someone to drive. I keep hammering home the same point. I don't feel like it'll be long until Madueke is on, unless there's obviously an issue with his minutes that they want to keep him off, but he's been warming up for a long time. It feels like it needs that kind of driver. And with that being said, Crookie, all this is doing is encouraging Chelsea to come further forward, and they're leaving loads of spaces behind. And for the listener, it'd be like the Arsenal-Newcastle game in midweek, where they left the space for the pace of Gordon and Isak. Brighton are doing exactly the same thing.
Well, home side have made that change. Diego Gomez, the Paraguayan, is on for Jack Hinshelwood, so a like-for-like replacement, and the tall figure of Gomez involved straight away, winning the ball back off Caicedo. Deep in Chelsea territory, Lamptey has been fouled by Caicedo. The referee played an advantage initially and has pulled it back for a free kick, and it's an obvious yellow card for Moises Caicedo. The Brighton fans enjoying that for their former player. I don't think he can have too many complaints. Lamptey was away and he caught him from behind.
Yeah, it's a foul, it's a yellow card. Just seeing a few elements of frustration, and I think there's a couple of guys being pulled in here from Chelsea just looking in front of us.
Yeah, Noni Madueke, I think, has been asked to come on. Free kick for Brighton though. 15 yards outside the penalty area to the left of centre. It's going to be a double alteration as far as Chelsea are concerned. Tyreek George, I think, is the other player.
Yeah, looks like it.
Youngster who got a couple of assists against Morecambe in the last round. We were there live on TalkSport 2 for that game. Chelsea 5-0 winners. But they're 2-1 down here, and they've only got a quarter of the game to keep themselves in the FA Cup, Chelsea. Minte with the free kick. That's a good delivery. Almost straight on the head of Van Hecker. Sanchez has come and punched it. Not convincingly, but he's got it clear. And then Palmer, looking to release Sancho, passes it straight to Belieber. This is as poor as I've seen Cole Palmer in a Chelsea shirt.
Yeah, I could attest to that. I just think he's not had a lot of the ball.
Gomez over the top for Minte, all alone inside the penalty area, so he slows his run down, looks to cut the cross back and wins a corner. And again, he's gesticulating in front of the home supporters behind the goal to our left.
Yeah, just going back to Cole Palmer. Look, he's having the ball every 3-4 minutes as opposed to 10-20 seconds, and I think with his frustration and his young age, he's trying to make something happen all the time. That pass there to try and set Sancho away, probably could have took an extra touch, but because he's so eager to do something of high quality to get the team back into it, just rushes it and goes straight to Belieber, unfortunately.
And there will be a double change for Chelsea after this corner is taken. George and Madueke are the players coming on. The referee is just delaying the kick because he spotted a bit of pushing and shoving inside the penalty area. Joel Veltman is down his backside, helped up by Robert Sanchez. Just eats away a few seconds as far as Chelsea are concerned. They look to get back in the game. 2-1 down. Enzo Fernandez now in conversation with Jared Gillett, the referee.
Do you think for the two changes, George and Madueke, be both wide men, Pedro and Sancho coming on?
Yeah, quite possibly. Again, I don't think it's been Jadon Sancho's best night, is it? In fact, spoke to a couple of Chelsea fans at half-time and they were saying this is the Jadon Sancho maybe that we saw at Manchester United. In comes the cross from Lamptey. Finds Matoma on the edge of the area, shoots into the ground, the goalkeeper Sanchez spilt it. It was an awkward one. Welbeck was closing in, but Sanchez gathers at the second time of asking. 2-1 Brighton lead. The third goal surely will put this FA Cup fourth round tie out of the reach of Chelsea. As long as it stays 2-1, they'll believe they can get back in the game.
It'd be interesting when you get to speak to the manager afterwards, Crookie. It seems to me that they've been working on, as soon as they transition the ball, getting back into shape really, really quickly. As they just cleared that from the shot from Matoma, all three coaches sprinted out to the pitch and were screaming at everyone to get back. I'm seeing Webster now driving the players up. It feels like they've gone back to what they were trying to do at the start of the season.
Two Chelsea subs still wait to come on down below us. Caicedo with the ball over halfway, out to Pedro Neto, who may well be about to go off. He's running at Lamptey, crosses low into the area, good delivery that, finds Sancho at the near post. And, well, in fact, it was, Sancho it was, and I think he just ran into a Brighton player, and he was half-heartedly claiming for handball.
It was a bad first touch, and just trying to do a little bit too much. Sometimes in those areas, just get a touch and shoot.
They were trying to claim it hit Webster on the arm, but it was from point-blank range. I think his arms were down by his side. Particularly with no VAR tonight, they were never going to get that penalty. Here's Gusto into Fernandez in midfield.
Isn't it interesting, though, Crookie, with Madueke and George just stood right at the side of the pitch. You could see Neto gets the ball and he drives and he has a bit more impetus. It's as if he knows he's coming off and he goes, oh, let me show you that you should keep me on for another 3 or 4 minutes.
Brighton are going to make a couple of changes as well. Yasin Ayari, Swedish midfielder, and João Pedro, your former Watford teammate, are just getting their final instructions, so a double change for both sides. 73 gone, Brighton 2, Chelsea 1 on TalkSport. Already today wins in the FA Cup for the likes of Ipswich and Fulham. Newcastle away from home at Birmingham. Manchester City coming from behind to beat Leyton Orient to kick us all off this morning, and Millwall got the better of Leeds at Ellen Road in an all-championship tussle. Cardiff beat Stoke on penalties, also an all-second-tier tie here at the AMEX. It looks like Chelsea are going out the FA Cup and going out with a bit of a whimper at the moment. Here's Palmer coming in from the right touchline, plays the ball into Tosin inside the centre circle. Tosin will come forward, tries to slide it into the penalty area, and there's Palmer on the stretch. His attempted left foot half volley ends up near the corner flag in the back of the net.
Jadon Sancho coming off here.
Yeah, and Tyreek George coming on. How will Jadon Sancho feel about being replaced by a teenager?
He doesn't look, I'm just trying to catch a picture of his face, he doesn't, none of them look that bothered that they're coming off. It's kind of as if they expect it in a weird way. They've accepted that they're going to come off.
Well, this is a big change for Brighton. Carlos Baleba just back from injury. They really missed him at Forest last week in that 7-0 defeat. He's making way for Yasin Ayari. Big job for Ayari to do in the final 17 minutes. And Jorginho Ruter, who scored a brilliant equalising goal in the first half, heading in Veltman's cross, is also going to be replaced by João Pedro. What do you make of that, Troy? Both wide players off for Chelsea, as we expected.
Yeah, that's exactly what I expected, and I think the changes for Brighton now are more for fitness and fatigue. They can't afford to be without Baleba. And Ruter change for João Pedro is a like for like, but actually two very good players. Feels like this game is opening up a little bit more, and João Pedro has that bite and that nastiness as well as the quality. So remember, Caicedo's on the yellow card as well, so they'll want him to get the ball in and around Caicedo where he can't touch him.
Yeah, Brighton fans would absolutely love that, wouldn't it? Wouldn't they, if Caicedo was sent for an early bath in the final quarter of an hour? But you've got to say, since Brighton took the lead with that fine finish from Matoma, albeit maybe a handball from Lamptey in the build-up, Chelsea haven't really looked like getting back on level terms. That effort from Cole Palmer was opportunist, but it was never going to trouble Bart Verbruggen in the Brighton goal.
Well, what you expect when the striker in Nkunku is playing about as high up the pitch as me and you are right now. I don't actually remember him being in the box, do you?
He's dropped deep on a number of occasions, and he's a bit of a halfway house, isn't he? Is he a number 9, is he a number 10, or is he a Joshua Zirkzee, and in between the two?
And we know how much you like Joshua Zirkzee, don't we?
He did well enough last night. Here's João Pedro, forward to Danny Welbeck. He makes a real difference as well, wearing the captain's armband, spearheading the attack. Someone you know well, Troy, from your Watford days as well. And I know you're a big fan of the guy who's just come on, the number 9, João Pedro.
Yeah, two completely different types of people as well as characters on the football pitch. Welbs is a lovely, likeable guy, trains hard. Unfortunately, his body's let him down over the years, otherwise he would be still at the top table. He really would. You look at what Man United have got up front now, he'd be doing a hell of a job.
He is an FA Cup winner with Arsenal back in 2017. Danny Welbeck, here's João Pedro, full of running, having just come on, looking for Welbeck. Wasn't the best pass, and it's cleared by Tosin on the edge of the area. Madueke facing his own goal, has to play it back for Sanchez. That always brings some anxiety for the travelling supporters. He's cleared it this time to Palmer, who immediately is closed down by a trio of Brighton players, and João Pedro wins it back for the Seagulls. They lead 2-1 with 13 minutes plus stoppage time to play in this FA Cup 4th round tie.
They're just walking, these Chelsea players. Cole Palmer's just got the ball with 3 players around him, plays a little ball into Gusto, who genuinely just stood and watched him. Honestly, you just want to see them, sorry for interrupting you, mate, just want to see them do a little bit, bring a little bit of personality to this shape.
Here's João Pedro, long and lean, plays it forward to Karu Matoma. Down the left-hand side, he's got 3 blue and white jerseys in the centre. João Pedro offering support on the edge of the area. He's going to try and whip it in right-footed. It It's blocked by Caicedo. João Pedro there ahead of Gusto, and he's been brought down, surely.
It's a penalty.
Well, that looked a stonewall penalty. João Pedro dragged to the floor, in my opinion, by Malo Gusto. The referee, Jared Gillett, had a good view of it and said goal kick. Well, down below us, Fabian Hertzler is incandescent. That is a penalty.
It's nailed on. João Pedro's just tried to cross it. The ball's just gone up off of Caicedo, and Gusto weirdly has tried to let the ball run out, and it's like 8-9 yards out. João Pedro continues his run, tries to go to counter presses, and he just tugs his left arm. It's a pen.
And again, if we have VAR in the fourth round of the FA Cup, I'm pretty sure that would be a penalty, but then maybe Lewis Dunk might have been sent off at the end of the first half.
No,
not sure
it's a
that
better game about it.
Not sure that Fabian Hertzler would say these things even themselves out, but poor defending from Malo Gusto, and he's got away with it, absolutely got away with it. 12 to go, 2-1 Brighton. And Gusto now runs with the ball towards halfway. Plays it out to the right, and Palmer, number 20 for Chelsea. Dink forward, looking for Madueke. Cross comes Adam Webster. Brilliant challenge by Adam Webster. I say brilliant challenge. The referee has been told by his assistant on this near side that was a foul.
Yeah, it looks like he's just clipped him and as he's kicked the ball as well. No,
I think it's a great challenge.
Yeah. But do you know what as well, in a weird way, without VAR, what this is showing is that the standard of refereeing has dropped. It's taken away the impetus for them to actually make decisions, because they're so used to being able to rely on VAR to get them out of trouble.
Well, you saw that last night at Old Trafford. United fans jubilant. The assistant referee is in line with Harry Maguire. We can clearly see standing in offside position. But I think you're right, they're so used to the technology coming to their rescue, they're almost hesitant to make the big decisions.
You have a wonderful way of making everything about Man United, you know that?
But it's one of the big talking points.
I know, but you haven't mentioned that, Newcastle got a goal against Birmingham that didn't cross the line. You left that one out. But it's fine.
I thought that did cross the line, to be fair. But again, your point's valid. And there are a lot of people who think it damages the integrity of the competition that it comes in round 5. Either you have the technology all the way through, or you don't.
Yeah.
A lot of people will feel like that. Here's Enzo Fernandez. Crosses into the area from the free kick. Chalobah took a swing at it on the half volley. Didn't make contact. Brighton wanted a free kick for a foul on the edge of their own box. Again, the referee, to his credit, has tried to let the game flow. Fabian Hertzler are not happy once more. And Chelsea have possession with Tosin. 2-1 to Brighton on Talk Sport. Chelsea are 10 minutes plus stoppage time away from limply exiting the FA Cup, a competition that they are so used to competing for, so used to getting to the final.
Well done,
Lamptey dispossessing Malo Gusto. Maresca wants a free kick. Brighton play on, and Pedro's raced up to the other end. He's on the edge of the penalty area. João Pedro, can he get it back from Danny Welbeck? Tosin was there, and then Caicedo steps in and just pokes the ball clear.
That action there sums up Chelsea in a nutshell. Gusto's just fell on the ball. There's not a foul at all.
Here's Nkunku. We've barely mentioned his name in this second half, and he's got the ball midway inside Brighton territory, and I think those Chelsea fans are getting frustrated. Here's Cucurella with a cross into the area, blocked behind by Van Hecke. Last touch off Cucurella. Goal kick for Brighton. You are listening to Brighton against Chelsea in the FA Cup, live on Talk Sport with Carling, the official beer partner of the Emirates FA Cup. 18 plus. Please drink responsibly.
You just said the Chelsea fans are getting frustrated with Nkunku because they've broken the press. He's got on the half turn. There's a counter to go, and he just stopped. He just stopped and waited for his teammates to go and run it, try and make something happen. But just back to my earlier point on Gusto, Tariq Lamptey's been excellent, by the way. When it's Madueke or Neto, he's dealt with the tackles and done it properly. As he comes in, he goes for a counter press again onto Gusto. Gusto falls on the ball. It's not a foul. The ref plays on. Tariq Lamptey then takes the ball off him. They go on a counter attack, and he's on the floor, arms waving in the air, saying it should be a foul. No running back. As it gets cleared again, he's still offside. 10 seconds afterwards.
Matoma to Lamptey. Game management, the order of the day now for Brighton. I would go as far as to say, Troy, that since Matoma put them in front early in this second half, the way the game has played out, if they don't win it in normal time, I think they're going to be really disappointed, Brighton, because they've not been under threat. But Danny Welbeck has put his team under pressure. He's passed it straight to Palmer, and there was the substitute Gomez winning it back.
And you see how it's infectious. Crookie. When one does it, the next one does it. You got Cole Palmer and the manager going, should be a foul. It's not a foul. They've won the ball back. Just keep playing. But this Chelsea team tonight feel that a sense of entitlement that we're Chelsea, we should get fouls. It's a game of football. Go and earn it.
Well, I think that's what Graham Potter and to a lesser extent Mauricio Pochettino had to battle with when they were in situ at Stamford Bridge. And maybe when you look at recent results, I know they beat West Ham on Monday, Chelsea live on TalkSport, but it wasn't convincing. Enzo Maresca possibly is struggling to manage some of the egos in that dressing room as well, and also the players who wanted away in January and didn't necessarily get the move. Ball played forward towards the Brighton penalty area. Tyreek George is tussling with it, with Minte over on the far side. He does brilliantly. The former Newcastle man slides in, wins the tackle, and then plays it upfield. It stays 2-1 to Brighton. We've only got 7 minutes of normal time to play.
But just on your points, though, when you say to people that won away, they need to start empowering the likes of Chalobah, who has had, as you said at the top of the show, a turbulent season, but he's probably been the best Chelsea performer. Between him and Caicedo of just wanting the ball, endeavour, trying their best. Yes, they're not the best players that Chelsea have got, but you need to empower the ones who you can rely on week in, week out. And I'm just looking at this Chelsea team at the moment, and again, I'm only speaking to this game, I haven't seen enough in person. Very much entitled, and they feel that they should be getting the game just because they're Chelsea.
Tyreek George has got some space though, and he comes into the penalty area and he blazes it, left-footed, the youngster, over the crossbar. He's got 4 players waiting for the cross. He's gone for glory, and he's absolutely made a hash of it, Tyreek George.
Yeah, he has, but at least he's been positive and he's direct. One thing I'm not impressed with by this Chelsea team is where's your senior players say to the young boy, unlucky, go again, or next time do this. All just looking after themselves. I feel sorry for Gusto because he's right in my eye line, but he's really annoying me just watching him. Really annoying me with his ego and his arrogance. Obviously there's a few of them that are playing as well and doing the same, but he's the closest one to us, so he's the one who's getting it.
And if you're out there, if you're a Brighton player, do you clock that?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. You just say keep the ball because they'll give it you. But also you got to remember this is Brighton on the back of a 7-0 defeat, so they don't want to go after it.
Gomez into the penalty area, plays it through the legs of Gusto. Sanchez comes out and collects on the edge of the 6-yard box. It was purposeful play by Gomez, the latest of the long line of players that Brighton have found in South America. He's playing for Inter Miami until his £14 million move in January, but I know they rate him very highly. Looks like he has all the physical attributes to be right at home in the Premier League. And they just keep unearthing these gems, don't they? 5 minutes to play. Brighton 2, Chelsea 1. Live from the AMEX Stadium, a bouncing AMEX Stadium. As Tosin is closed down by Matoma, and again he's a bit slow to get the ball clear. It bounces off Matoma. Madueke in a tussle with Lamptey, and he ushers the ball back into his own half, and Malo Gusto.
In 5 minutes of Madueke being on, maybe 10, he's done more than Neto and Sancho combined.
Well, he is one player I think firmly believes that he should be starting regularly. He hasn't hidden that, Noni Madueke.
But I don't mind it if you deliver it.
Ball aimed in towards Tyreek George on the left-hand side. Nodded out of play by Minte. He's impressed me, Minte, in that when he's been needed to defend, he's got back there and he's tracked his marker. He's not always the cleanest in the challenge. It's not natural to him, but he's making it difficult for the Chelsea wide man, whoever that is. Lamptey the same, as he just dispossesses Madueke on the edge of the penalty area. Lamptey, and he carries the ball forward towards the halfway line, drops the shoulder looking to get away from Caicedo. Caicedo did well actually to gobble up the ground and forces Lamptey to concede the throw. Matt O'Reilly is going to come on in the next few minutes for Brighton, the Danish international, one of their big money summer acquisitions, as the ball is chipped forward by Fernandes. It bounces off the back of Cole Palmer.
It's one of them days.
And that sums up his night, just as he was looking to get in behind the Brighton back line. Ayari back to Van Hecke. Time running out to Chelsea to save their FA Cup season and save what has to be their last chance of domestic silverware. Obviously they're favourites in the Conference League, but too far adrift, I would suggest, in the Premier League title race, although they were contenders at one stage in some people's eyes. And it looks like the FA Cup is going to be beyond them as well. Cucurella with a header towards the area. Diving into nod it clear was Webster. Little flick from Danny Welbeck, and he gets it back from Minte. Welbeck into João Pedro on the edge of the area. He's got Mitoma overlapping. João Pedro comes back in on his right foot, then trying to play it through the legs of Tosin. Looking for Mitoma. Tosin was alert, out for a throw, but there was some lovely build-up play from Danny Welbeck in particular there. Troy, you enjoyed that?
Yeah, nice little flick around the corner. Gets onto the back of it. And he's just taking it, look, literally a standing ovation. Everybody just appreciates just how good Danny Welbeck has been, not only today, but for this team since he's been here. Excellent, excellent professional.
It means we're going to get a third different Brighton skipper. Lewis Dunk unable to come out due to injury for the second half. Welbeck is now passing the armband on to Adam Webster. O'Reilly on in his place, so João Pedro will be spearheading the attack now. O'Reilly going in behind with Minte and Mitoma, and even Troy Deeney has moved to applaud the efforts of his former teammate Danny Welbeck as he makes his way off. 2 minutes to play. Brighton 2, Chelsea 1. Chelsea have won the last 4 meetings between these two, but well, they're going to have to pull something out the bag late in the day here to make that 5 in a row. I think Brighton in this second half have been well worthy of the place in round 5. And João Pedro throws himself to the ground looking for a free kick. Tosin unimpressed, so was the referee. It's going to be a goal kick instead for Chelsea, and they're going to have to get this forward quickly. Chalobah almost caught in possession inside his own penalty area. Wow. There are only going to be 4 added minutes at the moment at the end of the game. We've still got a minute of normal time to play, but that means Chelsea are 5 minutes away from FA Cup disappointment. The Brighton fans are trying to roar their team home now, and Tariq Lamptey is taking as long as he possibly can over this throw, which came about because Sanchez played a short goal kick. Chalobah caught dithering, closed down by O'Reilly, and in blind panic just knocked it out of touch for a throw. Here's Lamptey down by the left corner flag. Plays it through the legs of Caicedo. João Pedro's knocked it against the Chelsea player, and Gusto does well, sprints and saves it from going behind for a corner. 30 seconds now of normal time to play. That Mitoma goal looks like it's going to send Brighton into round 5.
Really interested to hear what Maresca says about this game. I know he'll be frustrated, but as to what is the frustration? Is it the attitude? Is it the application? Or will he just put it down to being one of those nights?
It's been the lack of goal threat, isn't it? I mean, they were gifted the goal they did score, and they've not really threatened since then.
4 minutes at a time, it's just come up confirmed.
And we're into the first of those already. It's Brighton 2, Chelsea 1. And this would be a significant victory, wouldn't it, for Fabian Hürzeler, because there have been questions asked. They've lost their last 2 in the Premier League, and when you lose 7-0, biggest defeat in nearly 70 years, you can't shut the outside noise off, can you?
No, and also, listen, when you lose 7-0, there's a lot of questions, and there's a lot of, are we as good as we think? Is the young manager the one really to move forward with? And the one thing you know with Brighton, though, for as ruthless as Tony Bloom can be, he will give you as much opportunity as he can. Has he given a foul there?
Yeah, Enzo Fernandez just been caught, I think, as he looked to release Madueke down the right-hand side. It's going to be a free kick for Chelsea, but inside their own half. We've played one of the 4 added minutes already. Two balls on the pitch. Cole Palmer's just not one into play, so we'll continue with Tosin. And Tosin into Madueke, into the penalty, and knee support in the centre. Oh, and it's almost turned into his own net by Webster, and then they fire it goalwards. The effort from the edge of the area by Fernandez, saved by the goalkeeper, but the ball had already gone behind. It's a really good piece of defensive play by Webster. It's a great ball to release Madueke by Tosin. He's onside. I think Van Hecker is playing him on, and he's looking to pick out Nkunku in the centre. Webster on the slide, turns it behind for a corner. Corner taken short. Gusto with a cross into the area, blocked on the edge of that Brighton box. O'Reilly and Minte trying to get it clear. O'Reilly sweeps it down this left wing to Mitoma. Palmer lets it run out for a Chelsea throw. They've got 2 minutes to keep themselves in the FA Cup. Chelsea. Palmer knocks it over the head of O'Reilly and then switches the play out to the left-hand side. Veltman a bit slow to react maybe, but he gets there eventually. And he beats Tyreek George and volleys it away right-footed. Throw in for Chelsea, halfway inside the Brighton half. Maresca urging his team forward, pointing towards the Brighton penalty area way to our right. Fabian Herzler doing a bit of reorganising of his own, but Matoma's won it back, and he's played it forward to João Pedro, who's there ahead of Caicedo. I think it'll be corner flag territory here for Brighton. He's released Matoma, and Matoma actually did try and carry it into the area. Blocked by Caicedo, can't keep the ball in play. It's a corner for Brighton, and they'll have 90 seconds to hang on, Troy.
Yeah, good play. Just watching Herzler in front of me, screaming at João Pedro Matoma to get to the corner. I just think, just going back to that little chance that Chelsea had, you're looking at Madueke. That's what Neto and Sancho should be doing all day. I've been calling for it. Just run without the ball. It's on. There's high lines there, but like I said, I feel like I'm repeating myself, but it's really frustrating seeing this Chelsea team just play in front of the Brighton backline.
Corner taken short, no surprise, but Chelsea do have a throw. They've got less than a minute now to get the ball from one end of the pitch to the other. They trail by 2-1. And they've given it away on the edge of the box. And a rush of blood from Diego Gomez. He went for the spectacular right-footed curler from 20 yards out. It's wide, but Fabian Herzler is furious. They didn't just keep possession, Brighton.
Can't score from there though, Crookie. Can't score from the corner flag, mate.
Sanchez punts it forward from the goal kick. Gomez atones for his error of judgment, wins the header on halfway, collected by Minte. Seconds left for Chelsea, and the ball is exactly where Brighton want it, down by the corner flag. Minte just trying to keep it there. Cucurella and Tyreek George looking to win it back, and it's going to be a throw-in. But the 4 added minutes are up. All eyes on Jarrod Gillett, the referee. And there goes the full-time whistle. The 8-time FA Cup winners Chelsea have been sent crashing in the 4th round. The perfect reply from Brighton to that 7-0 bashing at the City ground last week. They got off to a nightmare start. Bart Verbruggen turning Cole Palmer's harmless cross into his own net for a 5th-minute own goal. That was cancelled out brilliantly by Jorginho Rutez. Header into the far corner, and Karu Matoma, subject of a £75 million bid from Saudi Arabia one week, the match winner the next, early in the second half. A lovely dink finish into the